Alright, I'm gonna be starting off with a Sonic X Erotica. It's a longer one. Alright, here we go.
I've been practicing a Kermit the Frog impression.
Try, shoot it on me, shoot it on me.
Allahu Akbar. Wait, no, fuck. If I can't hear myself, it doesn't sound good. I was listening to music. I had to keep
Allahu Akbar.
practicing it.
Alright,
It was really good in Arma 3 today.
still fucking Allahu Akbar. Alright. Alright. This is a Sonic X Erotica Sonato. A thump was all heard throughout a dimly lit room. Inside that room, there were two teenage hedgehogs. Shadow cursed in surprise as he found out that he, the ultimate life form, was pinned against the wall by his rival, Sonic the Hedgehog. "What, Faker? What do you think you're doing?" was all that Shadow could muster. He clenched his naked fist as his gloves have been removed long ago, leaving only his power rings. He tried to force himself out of the Cobalt's firm grip, but it was useless as the lust in Sonic's emerald eyes deepened, making his grip firmer, starting to hurt the Dark Hedgehog. He was confused. Just a minute ago they were arguing as why Sonic was acting like this. "Humph, I love your voice, Shadow. Please, shall we get started?" the Seam asked, wanting to desperately be inside the other. But he did not let it show, for he, and only he, knew that Shadow was a virgin, and did not want to worry him. You'd expect for someone like Shadow to have already been in this situation before, well, vice versa, and would already know where this was going, but nope. It was a close once, but it didn't happen. As to prove his thoughts, the other merely raised an eyebrow, unsure of what the other wanted to supposedly get started. Whoa, what are you talking about? This is outrageous! Get off of me! Shadow protested, trying to escape once again. Sonic smiled innocently and got a bit closer. His tan, bare chest brushed up against Shadow's white, fluffy chest fur, while one of his legs rubbed against the other's groin. Shadow's eyes widened as his cheeks turned a dark pink, as he tried to stifle back a moan from the friction between their legs. But Sonic's sensitive ears heard it. "You like that, huh?" Cobalt teased as he licked the side of Shadow's face seductively. Shadow closed his eyes and moaned and turned his face away in embarrassment. This wasn't like that blue speedster, he thought. He whined as the friction continued, but a bit harder this time. He tilted his head up and moaned softly. "Oh." Sonic found this surprising, as he didn't think Shadow would give in so easy. Maybe it's time, he thought. Shadow inhaled sharply as he felt something fleshy rub against his stomach. He looked down curiously and saw the other's erection. He blushed profusely and gulped. "Like what you see?" Sonic taunted. Have you gone mad?" Shadow asked, staring into the other's eyes. But all he saw was lust. It was then that he knew nothing he could change a stubborn hedgehog's mind. It was also the second time he had been completely powerless. Yeah, he knew he could easily Chaos Spear Sonic out of the way, but he didn't want to do and hurt his frenemy, as Mobians these days call their not-so-super close peers. Shadow growled, obviously displeased at the situation, but he decided to go along with it. He hoped after this was over they could just pretend that it never happened, just move on, and get over with it. After thinking, Shadow raised his head to look back at the other and then realized that Sonic, all this time, had been waiting to see if it was okay, but he didn't and wasn't rushing him. He also noticed that Sonic's eyes were glazed over, probably deep in thought, as he just was. Shadow concluded. He sighed as he waited for Sonic's ears and perked up, and his eyes refocused. "Fine, Faker, but I don't think this will make us be more than we are now. Got it?" Sonic nodded, but his mouth formed into a small frown as he realized there was nothing more than a spur-of-the-moment thing for Shadow. But he thought, at least Shadow's not nervous, and I'll get to make this sexy hedgehog mine. Sonic then gestured over to the queen-size bed, letting go of the other's wrist to actually take hold of his hand. Shadow grunted, feeling his tan, sexy fingers. Gentle fingers intertwined with his. He didn't even know why they were in his bedroom, as he remembers Sonic called him wanting to talk, since he was bored. That's the blue hedgehog for you, he thought. His thoughts were cut off as Sonic guided him, letting Ebony lay down first, and he proceeded to lie on top of him, and they stared into each other's eyes, a ruby meeting emerald. No sound was heard but the breathing of the two. Shadow felt Cobalt's breath as Sonic closed his eyes and leaned in to trap their presence in a passionate kiss. Shadow stared, wide-eyed, not all understanding what was feeling and started taking him over, but after a few seconds he decided to kiss back and closed his eyes. Sonic grinded the other, and that caught Shadow off guard, breathing the kiss. He knew his head back and let out a loud moan. Ah! Making Sonic smirk and start kissing the darker hedgehog's neck, trying to take it as slow as possible, or until he couldn't handle it anymore. Shadow moved his head to the other to access his vulnerable flesh. He could feel slightly pointed teeth nibble on him every once in a while, and his sandpapery tongue lick his collarbone. His ear twitched as he heard Sonic mumble something, as if he wasn't sure what he had said, but he figured it was something dirty. He waited for the foreplay to continue, but it never did. Shadow opened his eyes, and it was shut tightly the whole time, and he looked to see Sonic hovering slightly above him, an eyebrow raised in question. "Well?" Sonic asked impatiently. Well, what?" Shadow replied, his voice shaky. Sonic giggled and kissed Shadow again. I asked if I could put it in." He then gestured to a throbbing erection, it already dripping pre-cum. Shadow blushed as he looked at it and turned away. Shadow sighed and sat up, his cock now fully visible. And he wasn't at least one bit ashamed. Shadow pushed himself up on his elbows, staring at the other, as he thought hastily. He sighed and he got an idea to the other's ears pricked up to listen to the darker hedgehog's answer. "No, not yet." Sonic's eyebrows rose again, hesitant to say, once again at the "not yet" part of Shadow's continued. "I have an idea. I may not be ready, but doing this might emphasize my hormones so that we can get started." Shadow got on his knees and pushed Sonic down on his chest, so that he was now lying down. Sonic didn't resist. He was so eager to find out what Shadow was planning. He watched his Shadow put his arms on either side of his hips, lowered his head down between his legs. Sonic's eyes widened, now understanding where this was going. He could feel the other's hot breath on his prick, making it twitch. Shadow watched as Sonic propped himself up on his elbows to watch him, his eyes half lidded and knowing a smirk on his face. Shadow blushed and returned his eyes, making the twitching organ in front of him. He gave it a soft lick, and he heard the other gasp slightly. He smirked and took it into his mouth. Cobalt moaned as Shadow slowly started to take in the whole thing, make himself almost gag as he started bobbing his head. Sonic moaned and tilted his head back, panting. He asked, "You sure you haven't done this before? You're real good!" He received a glare from the darker hedgehog before continuing. I'd just like to point out, but I'm just imagining this going like, "Oh, oh, oh, oh." What are you thinking, Plague? Is like, this is the sounds that are happening at this exact moment in time.
Yee.
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 It's all about that yee.
Yee.
Shadow felt a a hand wrap around the base of his left ear. I shouldn't have chosen this one, it's way too long. He saw that the other's cheeks were bright pink and his eyes were swerved to the side. Alright, Plague, take over from here.
I can't read.
You can't? Why not?
Well, I mean, I can see your screen, but hold on.
Alright, I shared it with you.
Alright, hold on.
I'm at like the 5th paragraph where it says Shadow felt a hand wrap around the base of his left ear.
What the fuck? Alright.
All right.
Shadow felt a hand wrap around the base of his left ear and looked up in question, but not stopping. He saw that the other's cheeks were bright pink and his ears were swerved to the side. Shadow also noticed that Sonic was also clutching the sheets beside him desperately, and he immediately got the message. He smirked and let a fang graze the vulnerable skin of the other, watching as Sonic gnashed his teeth in slight pain. But the force did not. He sighed, noticing as Sonic panted, waiting for his approval. He nodded slightly, thinking it wouldn't be too bad not to be the one in control for a while. Wait, fuck, I lost my place. Hold on. The other smirked and let his head fall back onto the soft bedding as he forced the ebony hedgehog to take it all into his mouth until he felt some skin reach his hips. He glanced down to see the pained expression of the other. Shadow was looking directly back at him. The eye underneath the ear he was grabbing shut tight as he notably gagged somewhat. Sonic lessened his grip on the other's ear and looked back at the ceiling before forcing Shadow's head up slowly. He felt the cool air on his prick as the warm, wet cavern left him, and grunted as he then shoved the other's head back down quite forcefully, thrusting upwards as well. He heard the other groan in reply to his action and gag. Sonic thought he should be less careless, but he was almost at his peak and desperately needed this. He closed his eyes and put his other hand to work by grabbing the other ear, repeatedly thrusting into Ebony's mouth repeatedly, listening as Shadow grunted and groaned in discomfort. Yee. I need a fucking orange.
Alright, I'll continue. While you go get your orange, BB. Shadow looked up once again as he heard a gasp from the cobalt hedgehog. He let himself get shoved downwards again. Now he used a feeling of something so large in his throat. But this time, he felt a hot liquid fill his mouth. He struggled, but the 10 hands holding him prevented him from getting up. He moaned as he felt the seemingly endless stream of fluid fill him up. After a few seconds, he felt the hands leave him and immediately sat up, coughing and gagging. Sonic watched as the other lurched forward and coughed up a large amount of sticky white liquid into his own hand. Oh. Semen, they both thought. Sonic propped himself up on his elbows once again, not taking his eyes off Shadow as the other sat up fully. He smirked as he saw the trail of sperm had slid down Shadow's mouth, stopping at his chin. And he looked down and saw Shadow must have gotten quite excited during their recent activity. As the other's erection was straight up at its full length, Sonic looked back up at Shadow. As Shadow looked away, he eyed the small mess he had made on the other's fur, now slightly slick from the sweating, and crawled up next to Shadow. He grabbed Shadow's wrist and licked it off the tiny puddle of essence before kissing the ebony hedgehog. Shadow broke the kiss and bit his lips before asking, "What's next, Sonic? What's next?" Sonic smirked and abruptly pinned Shadow to the bed, almost bumping into the headboard and causing the bed to shake from the sudden action. Sonic! What are you doing? Shh! Just let me handle it. Sonic whispered soothingly as he sat back up once again. Turn around! Shadow grunted as he changed his position, now lying on his stomach. One second, let me get some fitting music. Let's get this. Alright. Here we go. Alright, that shouldn't be loud. Or at least too loud. Just let me handle it, Sonic whispered soothingly as he sat back up again. Turn around. Shadow grunted as he changed his position, now lying on his stomach. What is this? Ah! Shadow yelped as Sonic has grabbed his waist and forced his lower half upward. He felt the other give an approaching sound and put his hands on both his thighs. Sonic! His legs were slowly spread further apart, making his bottom stick up even more. The position is degrading! What are you planning to do? Shadow turned to see a smirk stretching across the other's face as he was staring back at him. One of his now gloveless hands caressing one of his quite plump buttocks. You know what? Now enough with the foreplay. I won't be able to hold myself back much longer, Sonic mumbled, as he seemed to be the entrance by the Ebony's toned body. Sonic lowered himself, his face mere inches away from the other's virgin entrance. Shadow could feel him breathe, his hot breath making him more excited. Sonic stared, his mouth slightly open and his eyes half lidded. He slowly moved forward and buried his muzzle in between. Sonic gasped as he felt a tongue slowly lick for his testes to the beginning of his tail. Alright, let me gather myself. Oh, Sonic 2! Sonic smirked at the use of his native name in such a way. He could tell Shadow was in ecstasy by how his back was arched and his head was raised. He had never seen inside of Shadow, and to be honest, he loved his side better. Let me turn that down just a little bit. There was a vibe of innocence. Alright, where am I? I lost my thought. There's a vibe of innocence that came from Shadow when it involved matters like this, which made him all the hotter. He licked around the entrance again, circling it with his tongue, teasing him. Sonic! Oh, please! Sonic,
I got the orange.
Alright. Let me finish this line, then he can continue. I'm playing some porn music. Oh, Sonic, please! Shadow moaned as his voice, low but pleading. Sonic stopped and began running his fingers across the other's hole. Please, what? Shadow! He said as he played with the short tail of the other. Shadow shivered and let his head fall, looking at the bed sheet beneath him. No, don't do this to me, Sonic! Don't you dare put me in that position! What do you want me to do, Shads? All you'd have to do is tell me! Shadow could feel the mocking smirk as he said this. I want you to. Yes! To? Shadow's eyes started watering. His cheeks were a deep magenta as he was forced himself to speak his mind. Fuck me. Please. I want you inside of me. I want you to be my first Sonic 2! Sonic smiled sweetly, touched by Ebony's words. I'm happy you feel that way. Just hurry! I love your smacking. Just... Without another word, Sonic straightened up and lined his hips with Shadow's, placing his hands on Shadow's pelvis. He slowly pushed himself in until their hips touched. Shadow's mouth was open and a silent scream as a pain in his backside was unbearable. I just realized Sonic has just inserted his peenie into Shadow's bum-bum. Does Sonic at least pay some of his good boy points for this? Alright, let me change this to the money shot. Yeah. Alright, here we go. Without another word, Sonic straightened up, lined his hips up with Shadow's, placing his hands on Shadow's pelvis, slowly pushed himself in until their hips touch. Shadow's mouth was open in a silent scream as the pain in his backside was unbearable. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Sonic grunted, repeatedly thrusting into him. Sonic smirked and leaned forward, nuzzling into each other's necks, his arms out-cradling his lover's chest. Oh God, Sonic! He heard Shadow moan into the pillow. 1 second, I got this. Oh God, Sonic! He heard, do you want more, Shadow? Yes. What do you, I have in mind? Sonic bit Shadow's shoulder as he reached down and wrapped his hand around the other's member, stroking it. Shadow gave out a choked moan as he raised his head, and his mouth opened, and his eyes rolled back. Sonic stroked him faster, driving the Dark Hedgehog further. Suddenly, Sonic straightened out, and pulled out, and stopped all of his actions! Faker! You bastard! Oh shit, I'm actually in. Sorry, so cool. I'm sorry, man.
I just ate a clementine like a fucking apple.
You're a fucking dumbass. How did the shell taste? Alright, Plague, you finish it up after Faker, you bastard. It's like towards the end. You see it, right? It's at like the very end. It's right above the last 3 paragraphs.
El mío.
El mío. Alright, are you at it?
What?
Read after Faker, you bastard. My throat's starting to get dry from all the sound effects.
Wait, I read that?
Just read the very end. I need to go get a cup of water.
What? Start at Faker, you bastard?
Yeah, start at Faker, you bastard. I'm gonna go get a cup of water.
Can I still listen to Alien Ant Farm while I narrate it?
Yeah, I don't care.
Alright. Faker, you bastard. Shh, you'll love me again in a second. As Sonic said this, he turned Shadow over so he was lying on his back. His length fully visible. Oopsies. Shadow looked at him, gasping for air. One of his legs curled towards him. It was a rare sight to see Shadow like this. Sonic felt lucky. He lifted one leg over his shoulder, along with the other one, and pushed himself all the way in one thrust. Shadow groaned and clutched the sheets, smirking. The said hedgehog leaned forward once again, his hands on either side of Ebony's head, and thrust into him multiple times. Watching his shadow underneath wriggled and shook, not seeming to be able to control himself from the pleasure. His nails now digging into the hero's back. There. Shadow opened his eyes finally. Seeing Sonic looking back, they stared at each other, their faces mere inches apart, until Shadow propped himself on his elbows and made their mouths collide. Oh! Sonic kissed back without question, their tongues swirling around each other in an erotic dance, separating only for air every couple of minutes. Sonic then opened his eyes and arched his back, his head towards the ceiling as he came. Ooh! Shadow gasped and moaned as he was filled to the brim with cum. Yeah, yes. Some oozing out of his butthole, not able to fit anymore. Shadow came shortly after, his essence shooting straight into the air, only to come back down. Only to come back down. Once Sonic was done, he lowered himself slightly and looked at Shadow, only to see he's been covered in his own cum, most of it on his face and the rest trailing down to his navel. He chuckled and began licking him clean, pulling out in the process. Ew. The entrance he so forcefully ran into, making Shadow shiver. He finished and pulled himself up again face to face with his dark companion. Shadow seemed to be unamused as he stared back, his hand gently brushing the side of Kobold's head as they simply laid on each other. I hate you so much, Vega. But at least you may be able to walk tomorrow.
Alright, so...
The way the chicken looks through the fence.
It's the way the chicken looks through the fence. That's how you know it's a good chicken. Alright, so, what would you rate that story?
10.5 out of 11.
Alright, I'd rate 3 Mountain Dews out of 2 Mountain Dews. Alright. So...
Oh my god, WikiHow is not lying about eating too many clementines. I brought 2 up here that were peeled and I ate them like apples and now my stomach's grumbling. I got too much vitamin C.
It's all about that vitamin C.
They're so good though. You ever had a friggin' cutie, those clementines?
Yeah?
Oh my god, they're so juicy and good.
Oh. I know what else is juicy and good. My dick. Alright, so I say we go and we do some dark jokes, alright?
No.
Why not, BB?
I don't feel like I don't feel like, having my name up here, and talking like that,
Alright. Well, I'm gonna tell some dark jokes, or at least a couple.
Alright.
Alright, go find the next story.
Oh, okay.
Alright. So, did you know why, little Sally fell off the swing? Plague, do you know why little Sally fell off the swing?
No.
Because she had no arms. Knock knock.
Okay. Who's there?
Not Sally. How do you start a Ugandan rave?
How?
You staple toast to the ceiling.
Alright, here we go.
Alright. Alright, share it over.
Sweetheart, a Sonichu fanfiction. I was only 5 years old. Yee!
Yee!
Chicken tendies!
Oh, chicken titties! I love you, Chris Chan.
Go look at the chat.
Alright. On Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 1 second, I actually gotta go over my profile. Loading video. Is this you sharing chicken tendies with the world? Wow, we don't have anybody watching. It's kind of sad. And we got 2 people watching. Still kind of sad. Oh, Christ, ow. Chicken, please. Oh! Oh! Oh, yeah, it's all about that fucking Sonic. Chicken, please.
Probably gonna go to bed pretty soon.
It's okay. Once you go to bed, I'll end it. I'm gonna go put it on my YouTube. Alright, let's just, alright. I'll read a paragraph, you read a paragraph, and we'll do it alright, like that?
Oh, I don't want to narrate. I'm tired.
BB, this will be the last one. I love you.
I don't want to. I'm tired.
I love you! It's okay, let's not do this then. I'm going to, read a, Russian story for you guys. Alright? Let me get my voice. I haven't done this in a while. Let me get the right music. Alright, here we go. I wake up in glorious cabin with sweat on my face. It was bad dream. It was only dream, I say into mirror. I ride bear to work as God in Siberian gulag to build communism and punish capitalist big dogs. I am of walking around cells with half-drink vodka, AK-47 like God Soviets. The capitalist big wake up, look scared like coward and say, "Let me out of here!" I look big, and I ignore, and finish bottle of vodka. KGB arrive around corner. KGB say arrest me for not kill capitalist big. Other KGB arrive around other corner. Other KGB arrest for not shoot, send prisoner to KGB for interrogate. And I am of disgrace to motherland. I kill self for disgracing motherland. I am in dreams of kind. KGB arrest me for not submit KGB while alive. Also KGB arrest me for not dream of glorious Lenin. KGB send me out of dreaming back to life. I wake up in glorious cabin with sweat on my face. It was bad dream. It was only a dream. I say in the mirror. How was that? Oh plague, how was that? Alright. I think I got at least 2 more left in me. Oh, definitely not of that size.
Hey, click this in the live stream.
Alright.
Oh, don't do it yet. I gotta go open the stream to see this shit go down. Alright. Alright, I wanna see your reaction. Alright, open it.
Alright. It's glued. No ye.
Stream's frozen.
No, that sucks. No, it's just OBS hates my my fucking computer. Wait, it actually is frozen. Like it's not even capturing. No, there it is. Yeah, that took forever.
Remember that one story I wrote for Such as Life in Moscow that like blew up?
Oh wait, which one is that?
I wrote one called like I can't remember. It was like the strangest Soviet security tape I've ever seen.
Alright, I'll find that. Oh, here it is. Alright.
Frozen.
I know. It doesn't like videos for some reason. Alright, I think this should be right here. Here's a good video. Alright. Alright, let me get my voice. Be working in security in Beat Farm. See spooky man wandering around Beat Farm. Some people keep doing the same actions over and over, getting angry for pretending to work. Spooky man, stop! Time! Everybody freeze! It is capitalist CIA. KGB rise from the ground of beat costumes and take CIA back to Gulag. Such a life in Moscow. How was that?
It's very good. It was a good performance of my story. You like how they rise up in beat costumes on?
I fucking love that. They rise up in beat costumes.
Alright, well I'm gonna head off.
1 second, I'm just gonna read one more, right?
I'm gonna head off after I go masturbate to gay Sonic porn, so.
Hey, I'm doing that right now, mate. You just don't even know. Alright.
Hey, where's Construct?
Construct's like, he's offline. I would invite him to the chat because that would probably get you to stay longer. Yeah, it's okay. It's a 40-minute live stream. Better than what I do. Alright. I'm gonna read this, then I'll be off. Then you can leave.
Alright. I would stay longer, but I'm so fucking tired.
I'm tired too, dude. I got a big day tomorrow.
I only get 4 hours of sleep now.
Seriously?
Told you, waking up at like 5.
Jesus. Oh. Alright. Before Ghost Gulag, I was good Soviet conscript. I invaded the blessed land, the Soviet land of Crimea, and that's when I heard this spoke to me. I was drinking vodka at the Boris factory, this nuclear submarine base, when I heard the American anthem. I got spooking and the commandant say, there is no such thing as America. So I continue with vodka at Boris factory. The capitalist anthem get near me, so I get super spooked and throw a vodka bottle on ground. I lift my gun made from Comrade Mikhail Kalashnikov, and I point in the direction of Spook. Spook get near. Spook is very fat. Spook in one of the Walmart of three-wheel Lada. I shoot it with Soviet-made 7.62 rounds. It screams, McDonald's, and rams me. I lift a broken vodka bottle and slam it in with sharp. Spook scream loud and say I am misogyny. Spook say I crush on the gate. Ghost KGB arrest me for not kill Spook. Where's the bullets and where's the vodka? I am mock like Boris motherland. Social life in Moscow! Like, you gotta do one, mate. Just do one.
Okay, I'll do one.
Right.
I'll do one. Link me one.
Okay, let me go find one. Alright, let me see if I can find a good one. Good one. My Little Leonishka. I'm trying to find one that I read a while ago. I think it's Little.
Hurry up.
Here it is. Where lazy fascists go.
Link.
I know, I'm control Ving right now. I think this is one I wrote.
Page not found.
Page not found. There we go.
Alright. Back before the glorious stolen times, the country was ravished by not building of communism. I remember a time when tractor factory no spew smoke. I remember being allowed to watch fascist device known as not KGB box. The not KGB box spew naughty language of capitalism. It make me furious, so I throw shoe at box. It spew ideals of owning property and owning money. It make me sick. Years later, after bad monarch, Alexander the Fascist was dead by good Bolshevik. I joined Spetsnaz in 1957, was assigned look at warehouse. I go into warehouse holding glorious gun of Comrade Kalashnikov and see rubles. I became furious as all money belonged to state. I see camera of old and it say White Russian jewelry channel. I go to burn money for it no belong to state, but to capitalist. KGB arrest me for watching show in childhood. I execute self in gulag for not execute self early for childhood watch of capitalism.
You're forgetting there's such a life in Moscow.
Oh, such is life in Moscow.
Alright, let me try. Such a life in Moscow! Ow, that really hurts. That really hurts me. I am a good story scripter. Alright, let me stop the live stream. Well, that was the live stream, folks. It was me and Plague Poosty. Plague, how shitty do you think it was out of a 0 out of 10 Mountain Dews?
11.
11 Mountain Dews out of 10.
Alright, I'm going to bed.
Alright,